All right, welcome back to another video on my channel. We're going to take it a little bit different direction today because I have some important updates for you. If you are a student of Neville Goddard, if you are interested in consciousness, in metaphysics, if you are growing and expanding your awareness through these communities that are prevalent online, whether it be my YouTube channel or any of the plethora of YouTube channels that have grown and started to give birth to deeper and deeper explorations of these ideas, I have a little bit of an update for you about what we are doing in this space. I founded the Neville Goddard School of Imagination in 2019 with the express purpose of bringing together Neville students, consciousness students, metaphysics students from all over the world and deepening our understanding of these ideas and expanding upon Neville's work in particular together. Now, much of that has been accomplished through my online courses. At the School of Imagination, we have a variety of online courses, some free, some paid, that deep dive into these ideas of consciousness. And if you want to know more about that, you can check out our website, schoolofi.org. But we also specialize in in-person events and retreats. And it's been a little while since we've gotten together. As the pandemic came through in 2020, we suspended our in-person retreats, but we did have the opportunity to visit Barbados in 2019. Earlier this year in 2022, we did a Sacred Genius retreat in Sedona with a small group of creators. And later this year, we are going to New York for the Portal 2022 SATS retreat. Now, today I'm excited to announce that we are also hosting a Mad Mystic of Manhattan VIP tour. Now, this is an exceptional event, absolutely extraordinary for everyone who is a fan of Neville Goddard, a fan of New Thought, or interested in any way in these metaphysical ideas. We have gathered a group of people for Saturday, October 1st in Manhattan, New York. And we're getting together to take a tour walking in the footsteps of Neville Goddard. Now, it's really interesting how this all came together because as it turns out, Neville on October 1st, 1972, transitioned from this physical earth plane and graduated, passed away, moved on to other realms of awareness. And October 1st, 2022, 50 years later, we are gathering together in New York City to walk in his footsteps, celebrate his work and its impact on our life, and also learn more and deepen our relationship with mystics, with this way of thinking, with this understanding of consciousness, and so much more. Now, our tour guide for this experience is Shweta Hariharan. Now, Shweta has been working with me at the School of Imagination for a couple of years now. You might recognize her from the 2020 summer series titled Science and Neville, really looking at the parallels between modern science and what was taught by Neville, who was way ahead of his time in so many ways. And Shweta, for this particular role, has put together a lot of research into what Neville did in New York City, as well as his enigmatic teacher, Abdullah, and has really come up with a list of tour stops that will help us dive deep into these stories and really expand our understanding of who Neville was, the life that he lived in New York, other New Thought mystics and teachers in New York, and how all of these ideas tied together. So without further ado, let's take a look at my interview with Shweta about the Mad Mystic of Manhattan tour. The School of Imagination. Okay, so today we are talking with Shweta, who is the tour guide for the Mad Mystic of Manhattan Neville tour that we're doing in October. So this is really an event that we have spent a lot of time talking about over the past 2 years now, just really kind of following Neville and looking at everything that he put into his stories and how many of his stories were centered around New York City. And we were inspired with this idea to put together a Mad Mystic of Manhattan tour. And Shweta has really been the lead on this, being also the archivist and lead researcher at the School of Imagination. She's put in a lot of time to really put together a list of tour stops, as well as a whole storyline that we're going to be walking through as we visit Manhattan together for this tour. So Shweta, I'm going to start with just a basic question. What is, in your mind, what is the Mad Mystic Tour of Manhattan?
The Mad Mystic Tour of Manhattan is an incredibly special outpicturing of something that I've really wanted to capture and create for, as you said, the last couple of years. It takes place on October 1st on Saturday, and it's essentially a tour for Neville fans. So those who have been touched by Neville Goddard, the mystic's work, since he started his work in the 30s in New York City. So if you're a Neville fan, you know how important New York was to him and his work as he shared stories that took place in this incredible city. He shared so much about various key areas here and his connection to the city as he explored mystical ideas with his mentor, Abdullah. It turns out that this city is actually a hub for New Thought. New Thought was a movement that happened all across America in key, incredible, imaginative cities. And New York City happened to be one of those places. So I had a chance a few years ago, before like the pandemic and everything like that went down, I had a chance to visit New York, and this time it was different. Now that I knew Neville, it was a little bit different. And I gave myself a little preview of what is now the Mad Mystic of Manhattan tour. We wanted to do this experience, which is a one-day tour, as well as an evening party that's open to all Neville students across the city. We wanted to do this imaginatively, and we wanted to do this right. So we hired a bus. We have a really incredible team that's putting in a lot of man hours to make this very special. We've actually booked a block of hotels that makes it easy for everyone to congregate where we want. And then we're also having this party at that same hotel, the NoMo SoHo Hotel. So essentially, it's an imagination-filled experience where we explore the footsteps of America's most radical mystics, kind of highlighting Neville, but through the eyes of many other mystics as well in the New Thought community.
Awesome. Okay, so the next question is, do you have to know Neville to go on this tour?
I wouldn't, if I love and care about you and you're in my life, at some point you're going to hear me recommend Neville to you. So yes, I will always recommend Neville to anyone who is even close to wanting to know the same questions that I'd had. But no, if you come on this tour with a very preliminary and just basic understanding of who Neville was, you're still going to learn a lot and get a lot out of this experience. So if you are watching this, I feel like it's pretty likely that you'd know Neville's work. But if you'd like to bring along a friend who doesn't very much know much about this topic, that would also be pretty cool. I think that they'll start to see that the world is not what maybe they thought it was, how limited they thought it was. And we'll be doing this in a sort of imaginative, storytelling, playful way with some proof points, some verifiable proof points that, some of these stories that Neville shared were actually factual and verifiable. So it could be interesting for someone who doesn't maybe know about his work as well.
So what will the guests take away from this tour?
So the guests of the Mad Mystic of Manhattan tour are going to take away so much. And I think the main first thing that I'm excited about is all the fun we're going to have together as a group of Neville students. I mean, how often is it that a group of people that know how deeply powerful we are all going to get together on a tour bus, learn a little bit more about each other and what brought them to this incredible work, and start to build that community in real life? Because a lot of Neville communities are digital, and that's really cool and it's exciting, but there's no better feeling over the years than when I meet someone in person that understands the truth of who we are through Neville's work. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and really I'm excited about the connections people are going to have and the deepening of connections, because a lot of us know each other through this online space. So how cool would it be to meet in person? But beyond that, I really think for me, the exploration thus far has been that I've developed a deeper understanding and connection to Neville's work. When I discovered Neville's work, it was a leap of faith that I had to take, that what this man was saying was the truth, and he was speaking earnestly and wholeheartedly. And as I started to walk through his footsteps when I went to New York, and also in my imagination, I started to realize that there are verifiable key points to what he's saying. There's data, there's, records. And that was just so thrilling and exciting, and made me feel so much more connected to this man who shared a universal message to anyone that's a human being. So I think that's what people are going to take away, is this incredible magical connection to someone they're taking a leap of faith with, because he's asking us to move beyond reason, facts, logic, the illusion. And so it's just something that I think it's worth to explore. Like, who was this man, and can I build a relationship with this person that was brave enough to come forth and share this kind of message? And I also think that this will help us all put together the pieces of the city of dreams that New York is. I mean, New York is an incredible, thriving, fun, enjoyable city to anyone in this world. I mean, I come from India, and uh, I noticed that whether people know about the specifics of North America or not, one place that people seem to know all over the world is New York City. You know, Manhattan. It's an iconic city. So putting that connection that this is a place where imagination thrives in so many different ways, I think that's going to be an incredible takeaway for anyone that attends.
Awesome. Okay, so a group of Neville students from all over the world coming together to celebrate Neville, getting on this bus, going on a tour together, VIP style in downtown Manhattan,
Exactly.
city of
Yeah.
glass and brass. What are a couple of the places, just tease for us, what are a couple of places that we're going to be visiting?
Well, there's quite a bit of a range here in the type of places we're going to visit. I can tell you that we're going to see some of the places where Neville and Abdullah both lived. So they're living places where they spend a lot of time dreaming and imagining. And that's one of my favorite spots in the tour, is exploring exactly where they inhabited. We're also going to have a chance to see where Neville and Abdullah worked. So Neville was, before he became a mystic that commanded a room of thousands and had lectures all over in incredibly iconic places in New York. He was a dancer, so we will have tours associated with his career. We'll also have a chance to see how they spent their quality, like, fun time. Neville had a group of friends that were mystics, and one of them is obviously the beautiful soul that is Abdullah, the incredible teacher that is Abdullah. And so we'll explore a little bit more about him. And he's a mysterious one. As this tour has had a life of its own, Abdullah's mysteries are increasing. There's more and more questions around Abdullah. And so we're going to have a sense of intrigue and fun as well. So we'll visit some key places in Neville's stories and Abdullah's stories as well. Plus, I really want to get us a Abdullah style drink next to where Abdullah lived, in a really fun bar downtown.
How do people sign up for the tour?
You can sign up at madmystictour.com. I would suggest that after you sign up for the tour online, that you also book at the NoMo SoHo Hotel. We definitely highly recommend doing that, because the School of Imagination team will be staying there. Other School of Imagination students from a retreat that we're having the week before, called the Portal 2022 retreat, are also going to be staying there. And then we're having our party later that night. So step one, go to our website, madmystictour.com. Step two, sign up for the tour, and then book your hotel at the NoMo SoHo Hotel. We also have a discounted rate for the hotel.
Okay, perfect. So if you're traveling in from out of town, there's already hotel rooms blocked at the NoMo SoHo Hotel. You can go ahead and secure yours. I'm really looking forward to this Mad Mystic of Manhattan VIP tour, Saturday, October 1st, 2022. We'll see you there.